everybody, it's me, it's Kyle McHugh. I am so excited to be reporting live to you from Evanston, Illinois. It's the Few Distillery, Few Spirits 10th anniversary party, and we've got all kinds of friends that are going to show up the next hour. As you can hear, we've got some incredible live music that's rocking. As we turn the camera around for just 1 second, we've got some amazing food from our Evanston buddies here, the La Cochinita food truck. We've got friends from all over the world that are going to join us on the stream. So thank you so much for joining us. It's been 10 amazing years here at the Few Distillery. Come on down the alley with me. We're right off of Chicago Avenue and Main Street here in Evanston. If you don't know, Evanston, of course, the home of Prohibition back in the day. And so we founded Few back 10 years ago in order to honor the heritage of the involvement of Evanston with beverage alcohol. But we've got the Hletko family that's going to be joining us here. In fact, one of them's running the camera for us. Sydney back there doing things for us today. Oh, there's her hand. There we go. Some amazing music. Like I said, friends coming through. We're going to talk to Paul here in just a second. But as friends start coming into the room, we're going to be able to switch friends again all over the U.S. and all over the world. We're going to be able to talk to us and say a little bit to Paul, to the Few team, for the fact that we've done what very few craft distilleries have had the opportunity to do in the history of America, which starting from grain to glass spirit making 10 years ago here in the town that was the home of Prohibition in the United States, never sourcing, no, there's anything wrong with that, but never sourcing a drop of whiskey, making everything here in little tiny Evanston, just outside the city of Chicago. We're now here 10 years later, having a great big party for all of our friends, and we're so happy that we could be here, thanks to Samson and Surrey Television, to bring you to the party for at least 1 hour of it and be able to share some of the fun, some of the good times. Because to be honest, we wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for a few fans around the world, because it started, of course, only in Illinois. Now we're available in all 50 states. We're available in over 30 different countries, and we're growing, growing, growing as the #2 craft whiskey, or at least #2 craft bourbon in the United States, as defined by the American Craft Spirits Association. By the way, we've got friends who are going to be joining us from the American Craft Spirits Association later today. We're going to hear from co-founders of our partners at Samson and Surrey, just a litany, a gaggle of friends who are going to be joining us. So the band's going to kick it back up here. Let's just take a quick look through the crowd here as we go. People are just starting to arrive. Everybody's fashionably late. It's Friday. You know, we've got a lot going on, of course. Doing some mic checks after the first song. If you didn't already see, I'm not going to yell because the band's not playing. We've got an aerial view here that Canyon Shayer, our producer in the booth, is going to be able to cut to from time to time, overlooking our little spot in the alley. But there's our incredible bar, serving some pre-mixed cocktails, and of course all the whiskey goodness you can look for. The band's kicking, and as soon as our first guest joins us, we're going to switch to them back in the virtual studio. Then we'll come back, and actually our first guest here on site is going to be our founder, Paul Hletko, who you'll probably see walking around in the background as we get things going. But the band's going to kick it off. Until our guest joins us, Canyon, I'm going to have you throw it up to the party cam, and we'll listen to the band get started here until our first guest comes in. So excited to share the next hour with you, everybody. This is Kyle McHugh. I'll be right back with you very, very soon. Hey everybody, look who I've got. It's our 10th anniversary, and here's our founder, here's our master distiller. There's so many co's, there's so many things going on. But Paul Letko here with us. The 10th anniversary, man. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
And I still remember coming back in the day to drinks on Dearborn and talking to a wonderful storekeep who really helped show me the way. And it's 10th anniversary, but it's really all of us. Yeah, I'm the guy that started it, but the 10th anniversary to me isn't about me. It's about team. It's about everybody around us that's pitched in to make this insane, crazy dream that I have a reality. And so also, I just want to say thank you to you, Kyle, because you're instrumental in making all this happen. Not just this live stream, but everything you see here. Thank you. Thank you, everybody out there. We really appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.
Hey, Paul, let me ask you while we've got you, and we've got, again, guests joining us. We're hearing comments coming in, so it's very exciting. I mean, I know in the last decade, I've had 2 kids. Like, my whole life has changed so many different ways in a decade. Like, when you started this 10 years ago, like, you know, what did you envision, and how far away are we a decade later from where that has been?
Oh, we're nowhere near what I thought we were going to be doing. We're just so far beyond. I mean, 10 years ago, I know you've had 2 kids, but I had 3 when we started it.
And still do.
And still do, but I've got 1 off at college. I've got 1 who's no longer 6 years old. She's now running the camera for us. Things are just fundamentally different. You know, things have grown. People have gotten married. People have, you know, we've had people come in, start working for a few, get married, have multiple kids, and it gets really special watching people come in and grow personally and professionally while we all do this crazy dream. Like, life is what happens when you're making other plans, and we're all continuing to make our plans, and we're continuing to grow, all of us together as a team, and that's just really extremely rewarding, seeing how things can change so quickly, and yet it takes so much time.
Right. It's a little bit of both, right?
Yeah.
Let alone the last 2 years and the time warp of the crazy pandemic. But yet here we are, and you know, former ACSA president and one of the co-founders, we all know that some of our craft spirits, brothers and sisters, have not been as fortunate as us, right? Through troubled times, both through COVID and before that. Like, it's a tough game, this craft spirits business.
This is a hard game, and I know we've got 2 former presidents of the ACSA speaking on, during this.
Coming through with us later
coming
today.
through. We got Mark Schilling's going to be on in a little bit. Tom Mooney was either just on or will be on in a second. This is really hard, everybody. And so it just means a lot to be able to share with people all over. We've got friends in the UK joining us. Shout out to the British Bourbon Society. Shout out to everybody on the East Coast, West Coast, everywhere. This is for you guys. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. All right, let's hear a little bit more from the band. Our guests, we're just waiting to get some queued up technology, everybody. It's a live show. We're going to jump it back to the band and hear a little more live music, and we'll be right back with you. Thank you, Paul.
Let's go.
song's called Flow, which is a regular thing. Seems like a great time to remind everyone that we're the inventors. You can find us on the internet, on Instagram at The Inventors Music, or at theinventorsmusic.com, or right here in front of you.
Hey everybody, all right, we've got our first guest in the virtual booth. We're going to go to two of the co-founders of Samson & Surrey, our CEO Robert Bernistro, our COO Juan Rovira, and our marketing manager Chris Dunn, all in Miami, Florida. I'm going to throw to them. Canyon in the studio, take them away.
Hello, Phil.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Some of us are still working here. I mean, I know it looks like we're drinking, but we're not really. We're just doing some extra product sampling.
It's a tough job, but somebody has to do it, as they say.
So we just wanted to wish everyone in Evanston a great party. Paul and the rest of the team, heartfelt congratulations on reaching 10. I guess in distillery years, 10 is probably like 150 already. It certainly feels like it to see how the company's grown since we've been partnering together. And we look forward to a tremendous future for Few. Incredible liquids, and we just happen to have a little bit of rye here that we're trying.
One of our favorites.
It's one of the house pours, I have to say. When we get to the end of the week, there's always a bottle of Few rye on the table to make sure that we slip into the weekend.
Guys, congrats to all the team. This has been, I know, a great journey of great whiskey and rock and roll. And I happen to believe that it's not 110 years. It is only the beginning, because in whiskey, with age, things get better. So, and I toast to that. Guys, this is only the beginning, and we'll have many, many, many years of fun together.
So congratulations, Chris. You have to say something deep and meaningful now.
Deep and
cheers.
Deep and meaningful.
Cheers to a decade of defiance in Chicago and to many more to come.
Cheers, everyone.
guys, have fun.
Have a great weekend.
Have a great day.
And a great
Great
evening.
celebration, and
Happy birthday for you.
many, many more to come.
Cheers.
We're out of here. We're going to carry on drinking now.
Thank you so much to our team in Miami. Of course, we wouldn't be here. Paul was just talking about the whole team that's helped get us to this amazing 10-year mark. And of course, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Samson and Surrey in the same way. Robert Furnace Rowe, Juan, and Chris. And here's another guy who we wouldn't be here 10 years later without. This is our Director of Operations for Few Spirits. This is Riley Henderson. 10 years, man. Now, how long have you been with Few of the 10?
So I've been here for 5 years. Yeah, I came on in 2016 as an assistant distiller. A couple of years, became head distiller. A couple more years, here I am.
Earning your stripes, right?
Right.
We're doing it the hard way.
I mean, that's the best thing about a small business, right? Like you get you get opportunities that you wouldn't have everywhere.
And tell me, you've done everything, right? You've done every job there is to do over those 5 years, probably. Between how many buildings do we even have in Evanston now in order to make Few what it is?
At the moment, 4, but we're in flux right now. So things are merging, condensing, enhancing. So
those are all great adjectives. So we've got the distillery here where we've always been, right down this little alley here off Chicago Avenue, right off Main Street.
Yeah.
And then what else do we have? What else do we do? Because every drop is made here in Evanston, right?
Right. So I mean, we can continue to make everything that we make for the U.S., for international in this back alley, but the biggest footprint is barrel storage. So I mean, right now, most of that warehouse space is designated to storage. So yeah, it's kind of what we got right now. We've also got a bottling line facility down the street. So a little bit of storage there, but mostly just bottling right now. And that's one of the things that will merge in the future, upgrading some of the warehouse space to be dual function and a little more efficient.
Sure, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, just since the 5 years you've been here, production-wise, what are some of the things happening now? Like, we're only filling 53-gallon barrels, right? I mean, it happened for some time.
It was huge, yeah. When I came on, we were still doing primarily 15-gallon barrels, and we gradually got into 30s, and then gradually got into 53s, and each one of those things seems like a small jump, but really, I mean, it means a lot for us as a company, as a whiskey distillery, but also on the ground. I mean, each one of those barrels has different hurdles. At 15, you can get up off the ground. 30-gallon, you can hoist. At 53, you can't do that.
No.
So, like everything else in a small company, we're just figuring out how to make things work as we go. And yeah, it's been great.
That's awesome. Any exciting projects you could talk about that you're working on now?
That I can talk about is the key word.
Fair enough. How about 2 of our most exciting, 2 of which we're going to try tonight? How about 2 of the things we've just been releasing?
Oh, right. So, yeah. So, well, obviously the 10th anniversary bourbon, which is super exciting. It is a 4-grain bourbon, which we don't normally do. Super unique. It is, this isn't something we advertise, but it is one of the older expressions we've done. And I don't know, not that it means a lot just to be old, but it's exciting as a small, young company. Kind of, I don't know, have a piece on that chessboard now of like, bottled and bond bourbon. It's exciting.
Bottled and bond bourbon. Not many craft distilleries have bottled and bond bourbon too. So again, it's another kind of hallmark of 10 years in the business where we're going to have something like that, right? And be of the size and scale to be able to produce something like that.
It's a very small group of distilleries, craft distilleries that are having that kind of, these kind of anniversaries, these kind of milestones, which is really exciting because they're all great.
Well, congratulations, Riley. Again, man, it's really happy to be here with you and to share with you. That's Riley Henderson, everybody. We're going to go to a friend of ours who's in the booth. It's Mark Schilling. Mark's the former president of the American Craft Spirits Association, and he's in Austin, Texas. So, again, we're going to throw it over to Mark.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing? You hear me okay? I'm in the distillery here in beautiful downtown adjacent Blanco, Texas at Milam and Green. And I don't know if I have a really great connection, but I'm glad to be with you guys tonight and happy to say happy birthday to Few Spirits and Paul and the team there. And I wanted to say really quickly, I don't think I've ever told Paul this, but the first time I met him, I was relatively new to the industry, and I was absolutely terrified by him. And because even then he was kind of a big deal around here. And frankly, here we are several years later, and honestly, I'm still terrified by him. Happy birthday, Few, and happy birthday, Paul.
Thanks so much to you for having us back. This is awesome. Thanks so much for last time. You said, hey, let us know we're going to get angry. And I said, okay.
Thank you so much, Mark. I'm in the distillery. I've got a special tasting, virtual tasting. I'm going to make you all salivate here in just a second with a special guest. But we've got Gus has joined us. Gus to Rule. I'm probably butchering your last name, Gus, so please correct me. But Gus is a friend of Few, a longtime friend of Few, who's joining us from the UK, from Sheffield in the United Kingdom. So I'm going to throw it over to Gus to say, hey, Gus.
Hi. Just like to say thanks for all the great and the juice you're producing. Got some of the anniversary over to the UK. You know, just keep doing what you're doing and love your own quality and your innovation. And it's so enjoyable. To be able to take part in some of the stuff you do, the liquid you produce. So, you know, keep going, and regards to everyone. Over and see you again soon sometime.
Gus, thank you so much for joining us all the way from the UK. It is almost midnight there, so that's awesome. Again, longtime friend, and as you heard Paul Lecto say at the start of the hour that we're here together today, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for passionate friends and fans like us. And speaking of passionate friends and fans, Mr. Kilmer, Michael Kilmer, also known as Kilmer, joining us. We started with Samson Surrey with Few the same day. 5 years ago, as of today.
Yes.
Holy shit! As of today, we're cursing because that's exciting. It is
half of the decade of Few, which is remarkable.
And when we started, Few was the only brand.
It was the only brand.
And
we came over for Paul. We wanted to win local in Chicago and take it worldwide. And expression after expression, dominating. Like, it's so unique. I can't believe the 5 years has flown by and what we've seen come out of this little building. Like, I mean, I just walked somebody through here and I was like, this is where 100,000 proof gallons gets made. And all that grain turns into liquid right here in this building. And it's absolutely crazy.
One room, former chop shop down an alley in Evanston. 100,000.
And you and I have both been in distilleries all over the world. And this is the tiniest, I think.
It ain't big. That's for sure. We have a fake wall that goes 3/4 of the way to the ceiling for the tasting room, which is also, it's very nice.
Just so it can collect the dust.
Well, so that you make sure you get the real experience of being in a distillery.
And then we'll close these windows so there's no breeze. So it's 300 degrees in here for these guys.
And the opposite in the winter. It goes the opposite way. It keeps the whiskey tasting opposite.
Imagine doing single barrel tastings in here when you're tasting 101 proof at 105 degrees in here, and then you just start sweating. And you're like, well, that's what happens.
Yeah, I'm spitzing a little bit myself.
Well, speaking of 100 proof whiskey.
Speaking of 100 proof whiskey, we thought this was a great opportunity to debut on camera our bottled and bond offering from Few Spirits. We were just talking to Riley about it a second ago. And so pull her a little for Mr. Kilmer and a little for myself. Don't mind if I do. So brand new, available in markets near you. We hope soon. We got to make enough of this, and it's hard to come by. But they're saying higher proof, so 50%. It's a bottled and bond by law, 100 proof, and it's the classic Few bourbon. That if you know it is to love it. It's our #1 seller, our straight bourbon. That's been a core release of ours from the beginning of Few. And what makes this special, of course, all the grain coming from one season, all the distillation done in one season, and that unique proofing at a minimum of 4 years old in order to be bottled in bond per U.S. law. So, buddy, to our 5th anniversary with Few and with Samson and Surrey, the day of.
Amazing.
Pretty special. For Few's 10th anniversary, little bottle and bond. Come on, why don't you walk through what you're getting on the bottle and bond?
Little amplified, like spicy notes. I love the juicy red apple. Always Few bourbon, I get a little trickle of cinnamon, which is awesome. For the core, 93 proof, which is nothing to sneeze at. I get a little more sweetness finish. This is more of like a lush, sweet finish on it, which
Few's always been like cherry and a dark cherry, black cherry, but I get a chocolate cherry here, like a cocoa nib cherry. Do you get any of that here that I don't see as intensely in the straight bourbon? I get it here on the nose, and I really get on the palate. And I think maybe that's that sweet thing for me that you're talking about.
Right.
Because Few's known to be spicy, right? It's got 20% rye in the mash bill. But this has that beautiful balance of that Few spice that you expect from the bourbon and
to me, I think on all Few bourbon, the spice is on the front, and then I'm talking about sweetness is the finish. So this finish is different to me. That's the biggest difference for me.
Yeah, I get a little bit of spice on both ends, but you're right. I mean, again, fortune fancies the bull. It's what we say in Few, and as you heard Paul say, Few bourbon may not be for everyone, but it is for those few who can appreciate a great bourbon.
For sure. Well, I think it's beautiful. We'll be coming out in Chicago November 1st for our big week of Whiskey Fest and all that kind of stuff. Just did this great anniversary launch here, and it's been a great month, and we're celebrating 10 years, 5 years for me and you.
10 years for you.
It's fabulous, man.
Well, thanks for joining me, man. I love being on this journey with you literally from day one. We both had long histories in whiskey before we joined this team, and here's to a whole bunch more, man, together. Pleasure
I can't wait. I can't wait for 5 more and 10 more.
Many is the goodness, right?
Sure.
All right, let's go back. We're going to hear, let's hear a little bit more music, and we'll be back with our next guest here in just a few minutes. Okay, hey everybody, I'm back here. I just wanted to say, the music that you're watching, that you're hearing, that's the Inventors out there, so check them out. Do the Google searches with the Netscape, whatever you're using these days, look for the Inventors. We'll post some stuff into the chat with the video as well. There are amazing songs going on. But we've got a great guest in the studio, the virtual studio. It's Jill Cook. Jill's a longtime friend of Paul's, longtime friend of the Few branch. She's a PR expert. She's based out of San Diego. And so, Jill, coming to you from Evanston, we're going to throw to you next. And we're so happy to have you here.
Hey, all. I wanted to hop on and wish you all a really happy 10th birthday. I know that you say that fortune fancies the bold, but I think it fancies the badass. And as we all know, you make some great shit. So happy birthday. Here's to the next 10 years. And bring home a few World Whiskey Awards in those, yeah?
Okay, everybody. Thank you, Jill. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for that. We really appreciate having you here and being a part of the Few University the last 10 years. The inventors are still rocking out there. We've been talking about all these great brands. You heard Riley talk about the innovation throughout the years, even a little bit from Kilmer. Really quick, let's just show you our 5 core whiskey brands that we have from Few Spirits. Let's roll that clip. Got it? Okay.
Once again, we just want to thank everyone for coming out. Thank you for having us. Yes, yes, yes. I think this is not very.
Hey everybody, very special guest with us here. You can see we're in the distillery again. I'm just kind of pivoting around that one room that we were referring to when we were tasting. Right behind us here, our beautiful whiskey still, our Cota hybrid still, and the guy who's responsible for it, Jared Gaither, our head of distillation, our head distiller here at Few Spirits. Welcome, man.
Good to be here. Thanks for coming.
Well, I feel like I'm in your house, right? But it's all of our party.
Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome.
10 years in. How long have you been with Few?
So it'll be 3 years this November.
A little bit easier for everybody to hear if I knew how to do my 3 years. And so, I mean, again, it was a small operation, right? I mean,
right.
We've got buildings around Evanston, but in 3 years, have you done everything around the distillery at some point or other?
Pretty much. I mean, this is an all hands on deck kind of organization, right? Anytime anything needs to be done, we all pitch in and get it done.
What has been your most satisfying part, would you say, of the last 3 years working here?
Oh my gosh, I think just how much I've had access to learn and do. I came in a total newbie. Knew very little about whiskey production, distillation, any of the spirit business, but just had the opportunity. I mean, an amazing once-in-a-lifetime sort of opportunity to learn and grow. And I think looking back over the last 2+ years, it's incredible how much I've been exposed to.
Sure. How big is your distillation team here?
So there's myself, and we have 2 distillers working currently.
Okay. And then how are we distilling every day right now? Or
so right now we're distilling 5 days a week, and hopefully we'll be back up to 7 days a week sometime soon.
Sure. Right. But again, we're filling barrels at a pace rarely seen for.
Oh, absolutely.
For you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And fill up those full-size barrels again too. Those
53-gallon barrels. We're filling up anywhere from 3 to 5 a day.
Wow.
So.
Which is, if you don't know, that's quite a bit in the craft spirits world that we're able to do that, and because that's how fast we're growing and the kind of liquid we're already seeing the need of as we expand around the world.
That's right. That's
awesome. Anything you're excited about coming up here with you? I mean, we've got a lot of new releases, obviously, that we've been doing. But
new releases, and then also our tasting room, all the options, like tonight's event, our Few Friday series just wrapped up, but that's being replaced with cocktails here every Friday and Saturday night. And then Lolo, our tasting room manager, they have a ton of fun stuff planned. So I encourage everybody to get on the website, get on the Instagram, and pay attention and come visit us sometime.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. It's at Few Spirits. Anywhere you're looking for that, fewspirits.com, of course, is the website. Jared, thank you so much for everything you do. Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you being here. We've got a guest in the virtual studio. It's Wazi. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Forgive me. It's Wazi Morgan. That's a friend of Few's. Again, we're going back to the United Kingdom, coming to us live from Wales again after midnight. Wazi, thanks for being here.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you. We're calling from Wales. You've got to understand it's midnight here and everyone's a bit tipsy. So,
happy birthday, Few.
Yeah, happy birthday, Few. We're really appreciating being allowed to come in on this chat and stuff. And I know you're all gathering up for the evening, but we're like late into the night now. So we're having a night, and it's a good night. We've got loads of Few there. Wazzy's got the best shelf in the world. Never mind the best shelf in the UK. It's the signed by Paul Hetco and all the team from the distillery, and he's made it into a shelf, put all the whiskey behind it, and we're just enjoying ourselves. Barbecue, great night, and we're happy with you having a 10th birthday, and it's a good one. So cheers.
Well done to Paul and all the team.
Yeah. You've all done really well. It's amazing whiskey. We love it. We love it over here. All of them. The rye, the bourbon, the lot. We've had the Delilahs tonight, Flaming Lips, and the 10-year anniversary stuff is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. We love it. Thank you very much for having us.
Cheers, Few.
Cheers, Few.
Thank you so much. Wazi, thanks. Great to have you here. And we've got yet another friend who's joining us. I'm going to butcher yet another name. Alexandra Clough. Yeah, I think it's Clough. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So, longtime friend of Few, longtime friend of Paul's, great PR professional. Thank you so much for joining us, Alexandra.
Thank you for having me. I wish I was there in person. My husband and I actually thought about coming out for the party. But we have 2 little ones at home. But it's an honor to be here virtually. I've known Paul since 2012, so pretty much since the beginning. He's been a leader in the craft spirits industry since then. At that point, there were just a handful of us. And Paul, among some of my other very good friends, Paul's really the godfather of craft distilling. So it's just been such an honor to watch him from the sidelines, to be able to support him, to be able to work with him. He was the president of ACSA, and I've had the privilege of working with him there. Personally, my family were actually distillers in Chicago pre-Prohibition, so I think his story really resonates with me. Drinking and celebrating in our industry is all about moments of connection and about storytelling, and there's no better guy to support than Paul. He does all of this so well. So cheers, congratulations to 10 years and to many more.
Thank you so much. A little bit more music there. I'm about to take a Repas break, but before I do, we got Margie Lehrman joining us. Margie's the Executive Director of the American Craft Spirits Association. We promised you some of the big wigs there, and here is one of the biggest wigs of them all. Margie, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for that introduction. Really appreciate it. So I'm wearing my American Craft Spirits Association hat in honor of Paul. I will tell you that Paul is in large part responsible for me being a part of the craft spirits community. I met Paul back in Austin at ACSA's second annual convention, and they announced at that point they were looking for a new executive director. And Paul and I met. He said, "Send me your resume," and that's how my journey with craft spirits began. I have Paul also to thank for breaking my diet tonight, and of course going to have a little bit of you. But before I do want to say that what a privilege it is to be working with Paul. I have worked with him when he was president of ACSA. And in terms of the growth of ACSA itself, it's a large part because of Paul and his ingenuity and his team to produce some, in fact, fantastic spirits. Now, quick story. I was in Reykjavik, Iceland, a couple years ago, and I walked into a whiskey bar, and it was about 10 o'clock at night. Well, at 2 a.m., having depleted an entire bottle of Pew with some others around me, we had a magnificent celebration, and that's what tonight is all about. My warmest and heartfelt happy birthday, Paul. Few Spirits will keep fighting for you here in Washington, D.C. You make us proud, and we will continue together to elevate and advocate for an entire community of craft spirits producers. Cheers and happy birthday.
Margie, thank you so much. I'm here at the bar. Where else would you expect me after my Edmonton break? We've got Ernest who's joining us here. He's mic'd up. We've got Sydney, who's bartender slash distiller. She does it all, everybody. She's a Renaissance woman. Ernest has done the drinks here for a lot of our parties for years. I mean, I feel like 9 years. About 9 years. I was going to say longer than I've been around these parts. So been a part of the decade as well. There's a list of some of the drinks here that we can show you. Our gimbal doesn't like to spin sometimes, so we're going to tell it to spin. But some of the great drinks that we're serving here, all pre-batched, ready to go. It's something we've been doing every Friday in the summer. So what are, I know these are your creations, but what's been moving the most today?
Well, right now it's pumpkin season, so we're doing the one with the cold brew, banana liqueur infused with espresso, pumpkin spice syrup, lemon juice. Sells like crazy. People love it. It's the season.
Tis the season. That's exactly right. You can see that we've got my size of flask here. This is my pocket flask, which is awkward to get on airplanes and things.
It's got big pockets.
Responsible first. All right, so we've got a little bit more live music. Gosh, we've already been here for 45 minutes together. We've got a special tasting with another friend. We're going to be out in about 10 more minutes, so we'll be right back. Oh, God, the band just cut. But look who just walked up.
I'm doing something right now.
Oh, you're doing something right now. That's Lolo's busy. It's her party. She's the one running things right now. I'll come over here while the band's on a break, of course. But here's our crowd joining us from Evanston, obviously. And, everybody's been very safe. We've talked to everybody, of course, as we always have through the pandemic. We've been throwing alley parties for the better part of 9 years, but making sure the last 2 years, of course, we've been doing it safely. Evanston's a very safe, responsible neighborhood. And making sure that we've always been in a part of that neighborhood to be giving back and be as supportive as we possibly can, and that's what we're here to do. So
the last one has been the best.
Maybe taking a little bit of a break.
The last one.
We'll go back to an aerial shot for a second. We're going to come back with a little tasting in the back with hopefully another guest or two before we have to wrap it up. Everybody, thanks for that. Again, the party here's got a lot longer to go. We're only going to be with you another 15 minutes or so, but we've got another great friend of Few. Actually, this is, I've been saying a long time friend of Paul's. This is way before Few. This goes back to university, undergrad in Michigan. This is Greg Opus. Greg is been a friend of Paul's again for a long time. He's joining us from Washington, D.C. So Greg, I'm going to hand it over to you. Thanks for being here. Okay. Oh, we're having a technical difficulty. I'm going to do one of these. I actually do have an earpiece in. It's not just a pantomime. Looks like we've lost Greg's feed, so we're going to be back in just 2 seconds. We've got another guest who's trying to get in that I'm seeing. I'm going to deal with that. Let's go look at this party. Let's look at these beautiful people, and we'll be right back.
Few is as much on his shoulders as on mine. Todd has been instrumental in getting us to where we were. A few years ago, he became no longer my partner. We're still friends. All good. Nobody's angry with anything. All happy news. But really excited to have Todd coming back home again for the first time in 5 years, 4 years?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since he's been here, so excited to have him here. And we're pouring our brand new 10th anniversary bourbon, celebrating our 10th anniversary tonight. It's available for sale here, but obviously if you're watching this at home, you're not here. Available via buyfewspirits.com, and this is our 10th anniversary. 4-grain bourbon. Very excited to have it, and this is Todd's first try of it, although I have had it before.
To 10
Cheers.
more of these.
To welcome.
Yeah. How many times do you think this barrel has moved around in the last 10 years? It's over 1,000 in this little spot.
This barrel moved around. These barrels actually went from Chicago, well, from Evanston to Chicago, all the way to Kentucky, came back from Kentucky to Illinois, where they continue to rest here. Very unique.
Aquavit, is there a certain aging that happens on the road?
I think it's sloshed around, turned over,
around.
heat, cold, all those things. That's what makes it
But a very different product than we released before. Different barrels, different aging, different mash bill. Frankly, it's
Wow.
just delicious.
Yeah, it's really good.
So unless you're in Illinois, the only place to get it, go to that website, everybody. We're going to cut to our last guest who's with us remotely before we come back to close, and that's Greg. Greg's joining us from Washington, D.C., longtime friend of Paul's.
Opie!
Congrats. Doing the few and a brew. Got to get the few barrel in the background there. Our guy, Paulie, hooked me up with that a couple summers back. So we've got a little redemption and a little bit of Victory Sour Monkey, a few and a brew special that I'm very fond of. Listen, all the way back when I first met Paul 32 years ago, Mosier Jordan 4 Center, you knew the guy was special. You knew he was going to do great stuff. And this is proof of it. We all sampled it. We all love it. And we all come back for more. To Paul, I'm getting choked up, buddy. I can't even put into words how proud of you I am and how much I wish you continued success and all good things going forward. The people that tune into this, the people that say great things about you, it's a testament to you and the people you put around you and the things you do and how you do it. So take care, my brother. I will always be one of your biggest fans and I will always be consuming your stuff. Take care, my brother.
Greg, thank you so much for that. I feel the same way. Really honored to be a part of this team for the last 5 years to the day today. Really excited and proud, and you know, I've been a buyer in Chicago for 20 years. I've been buying the spirits in Chicago for restaurants or for consulting, etc. For my store that Paul mentioned where he met me. So I've been a part of the Few journey for those 10 years as a customer, as a client, and now as part of the family. And again, it's a family operation. If it's a blood family, if it's our chosen family, our professional and work family, all of the above. Thank you so much for joining us today, everybody, for this little look at our 10th anniversary party. From the tasting room here in Evanston, Illinois, and on behalf of the Few team and everybody here at Samson & Surrey, thank you so much for being here. Have a great weekend, and happy 10th anniversary to Few Spirits. We'll see you all real soon. This has been Kyle McHugh for Samson & Surrey TV. Thanks for joining us.